In the last two lectures, we have seen what is a Schrodinger equation, that is, what is the time dependent Schrodinger equation and time independent Schrodinger equation. Now, we are going to discuss the solution of Schrodinger equation. In fact, you have seen that the time dependent Schrodinger equation is written in this manner. This is h psi equal to I h bar del psi by del t, and h here is Hamiltonian of the system, and in 3D you know this Hamiltonian operator is defined in this way. This is minus h bar square over 2m del square plus v. So Schrodinger time dependent equation you may write in this way: minus h bar square over 2m del square plus v psi equal to I h bar del psi by del t. As you can see, this is a partial differential equation of second order, and it contains actually four variables, because you know in Cartesian coordinate this del square operator, which is Laplacian, this is in fact del 2 by del x square plus del 2 by del y square and plus del 2 by del z square. So you can see that the wave function psi is actually a function of four independent variables, among which three variables, that is x, y, z, are space coordinates, and one is time t. So in the case where the potential energy is independent of time and depends only on position, then Schrodinger suggested seeking solution of the wave equation, which actually represents standing waves. So if psi represents a standing wave, then time must occur as a separate factor, that is v is independent of time. In fact, in that condition we get Schrodinger time independent equation. Now, since position and time coordinates are separate in this equation, as you can see, the LHS contains only the function of x, y, and z, that is a space coordinate, and in RHS there is time t present. So the space variables x, y, z and the time variable t are already separated in this equation. So there is no need to separate these two independent variables. And you know, if LHS is a function of x, y, z and RHS is a function of t, in that condition we may express this function psi of x, y, z, t as a product of two functions, among which first one will be only a function of a space coordinate and the second will be a function of time t. So we can express psi of x, y, z, t in this manner. This may be written as phi of x, y, z times u of t. Here phi of x, y, z is a function of only a space coordinates x, y, and z, while u is a function of time t only. So now, after defining this wave function psi in this manner, let us use this equation 2 in equation 1. So you can see, using equation 2 in 1, we get, as you can see, the first equation is what? This is minus h bar square over 2m del square plus v psi, and at the place of psi now we will write phi of x, y, z times u of t. So this can be written as phi of x, y, z times u of t, and this equal to I h bar del psi by del t. So this is del t, and psi can be written as phi of x y z times u of t. Now you can see both sides of this equation actually contains the function of x, y, z and t. So to separate the variables, or to use the method of variable separation, we will make some algebra so that the LHS will be a function of only one type of variable and RHS will be a function of another type of variable. So this is very easy to see that to separate the variable, we will simply divide this equation throughout by this product phi of x, y, z times u of t. So to separate the variables, to separate the variables, let us divide equation 2 throughout by the product of phi of x, y, z times u of t. So you can see that here this operator minus h bar square over 2m del square plus v is operated on this phi of x, y, z, because it is in this operator is independent of t. So after dividing by this u of t will cancel, and in RHS, since we are differentiating partially with respect to t, it means we must treat phi of x, y, z as a constant factor, as we have treated u of t as a constant factor, because the operator is a partial differential operator. So we treat this phi of x, y, z as a variable in LHS and u of t as a constant factor in LHS, while in RHS we are differentiating with respect partially with respect to t. So we will treat this phi of x, y just as a multiplication factor. So by dividing this product phi of x, y, z times u of t, in LHS this u of t will cancel, and in RHS this phi of x, y, z will cancel. And after this cancellation, what will be our result, you can see easily. So this will be actually equal to what? This will be minus h bar square over 2m times h minus h bar square del square plus v of x, y, z operated on phi of x, y, z over sorry, nothing will be over because u of t has been cancelled out, and in RHS there will be IH bar del t del del t u of t, u of t. And so now you can see that u of t are at times after dividing it, this will be actually phi of x, y, z, and in RHS there will be, see here, this will be 1 IH bar 1 over u of t del del t u of t, u of t. So you can write it in this manner. This is 1 over phi of x, y, z, x, y, z times minus h bar square over 2m del square plus v of x, y, z phi of x, y, z, and this will be equal to, this is equal to IH bar 1 over u of t del del t u of t, and say this is equation 3. As you can see that in this equation the LHS is only a function of x, y, and z. It means it is independent of time t, while you can see that the RHS is only a function of time t, and so it is independent of the space coordinates x, y, and z. So now the variables are separated, and as this equation will hold for all values of x, y, z, and t, so it will be possible only when the LHS and RHS both will be equal to same constant. So you can see that in this equation, LHS is independent of t, while RHS is independent of space coordinates x, y, z. So if the above equation is to be satisfied, each side of this equation 3 must be equal to the same constant, because x, y, z, t are actually the independent variable. So you have definitely studied in the solution of partial differential equation by method of variable separation, that if LHS is independent of time t while RHS is independent of x, y, z, then for all values of x, y, z and t, both sides must be equal to same constant. So now let us consider that the LHS and RHS both are equal to the same constant, and we denote that constant by a symbol, let us say E. So let 1 over phi of x, y, z times minus h bar square over 2m del square plus v of x, y, z phi of x, y, z, this equal to E. Here actually E has been taken as a constant, and if it is equal to constant, then you can write this equation in this particular manner, that this equation is nothing, this is simply del square phi plus 2m over h bar square times E minus V, E minus V phi equal to 0. And as you can see, this is nothing, this is simply the Schrodinger time independent equation. So this is actually Schrodinger time independent equation. Time independent equation. Now we will also set the RHS of this equation to be equal to E, and you can see what is the RHS of this equation. This is I h bar 1 over u of t del t u of t. So this must be also equal to E. So again you can see that I h bar 1 over u of t del t u of t, this must be equal to E, as I have told you earlier, and say this is equation 5, or the solution of this equation you may write in this manner. So the solution of equation 5 is given as, you can write its solution in this particular manner. This is u of t is equal to e raised to the power et over I h bar, or equivalently, as you know, 1 over I is equal to minus I. So this can also be written as e raised to the power minus I e t over h bar. This is the solution of this equation 5. You can see, you can check it if you will simply differentiate partially this equation with respect to t, then you will get this equation 5. So this can be written as the solution of this equation 5. Now if we compare this equation with that of a plane wave, then you will note that E must have the dimension of energy. So we recognize this term E as energy. So you can say that E designates the energy of the particle which is described by the solution of Schrodinger equation. So comparing this equation, comparing this equation 6 with a plane wave, we find that E has a dimension of energy, and that's why we recognize that E represents the energy of our system or the particle which is described by this Schrodinger equation. So E is the energy of the particle described by Schrodinger equation. So now with this value of u of t, if we write this equation, see here, this equation 2, then what will be the solution of Schrodinger equation? You can see that equation 2 reads psi of xyzt is equal to phi of xyz times u of t, and we have defined this u of t. So now let us use that value of u of t in this equation 2, and then you will get the wave function psi of xyzt. So with this value of u of t, equation 2 becomes, what will be this equation? You can see that this phi of xyzt is equal to phi of xyz times e to the power minus iet over h cross. Say this is equation 7. Now for bond states, when you say that state of our system is bond state, what does it mean? It means actually the particle under consideration is confined to a finite region, and for single valued continuous and finite solution of the equation which we have seen here, this equation, you can see equation 4. In fact, this is time independent equation. So for the finite and single valued continuous solution of this equation 4, there can only be certain definite values of energy E. Actually, those values of energy E are allowed values of energy E, and of the for a particular system, it is actually called the characteristic or proper value of energy E, or simply you can say the eigenvalues. And corresponding to each allowed value of energy E, there is one function obtained as solution of equation 4. So this function is referred to as a characteristic function or eigenfunction. So in fact, the bound state problem is actually a very important problem, and in this condition, as I have told you, that the Schrodinger time independent equation has actually a single valued continuous and finite solution, and for those solutions there will be certain energy value allowed. Not energy spectrum is actually not continuous in this case, but the energy spectrum is discrete, and those discrete values of energy are actually called the eigenvalue, and the corresponding function psi is known as the eigenfunction. So you can say this is a particular remarkable case. So in case of bound state potential, and as I have told you, bound state potential means that a potential which restricts the particle to be confined in a finite region. When you say bound state potential, it means it is the potential which restricts our particle to be located in a finite region. We will see after this lecture the problem of particle in a box. That will be a very important example of bound state potential. And in case of bound state potential, as I have told you, E is discrete, not continuous, and this values of E are known as eigenvalues. And in that condition, the wave function is actually known as psi is known as eigenfunction. Now the most general solution of Schrodinger equation, which we have defined earlier, is given as the linear superposition of the solution of this form, which we have defined in this equation 7. So the most general solution now you may write in this manner. So the most general solution of Schrodinger equation, which actually I have defined here in the first equation. You can see here this equation. So most general solution of that Schrodinger equation is actually a linear combination of the solution of the type defined in equation this 7. So the most general solution of Schrodinger equation which is defined in this equation 1 is given as the linear combination or you may say linear superposition of the solution defined in 7. And so we will take the linear combination or linear superposition of functions like equation 7. So in fact, in general, we will define psi of x, y, z, t equal to, let us consider a arbitrary constant a1 and function phi1 of x, y, z times e raised to the power minus I e1 t over h bar plus a2 phi 2 of x, y, z e raised to the power minus I e2 t over h bar plus so on plus an phi n of x, y, z e raised to the power minus I en t over h bar and plus so on. And so in compact form, by the use of sign of summation, this equation may be written in this manner. You can see this is summation n from 1 to infinity an phi n of x, y, z and e raised to the power minus I en t over h bar. So this is actually the time evolution, as this is time independent part of the eigenfunction and this is actually time evolution. Now we will see what is the stationary state solution of this Schrodinger equation. So see here, a stationary state solution. When you say a stationary state, what is this stationary state of the system? In fact, you know that mod of psi square, or equivalently you may call psi star of psi. Psi star is the complex conjugate of psi. This is actually the probability density. As you know, this is called probability density. Probability density. In fact, when this probability density is independent of time, then the state of the system is said to be a stationary state. So you have already studied this while we were discussing the probability density in earlier lectures. So if you can say that this psi star of psi star times psi is independent of time, independent of time, then the state of the system is known as a stationary state. A stationary state. So mark this thing, that a probability density which is defined as mod of psi square or psi star psi, if this is independent of time, then you say that the state of our system is a stationary state. Now let us consider the probability distribution function psi star times psi for a system in the state is represented by the wave function which we have just defined here. So let, as you have seen, the wave function for such a such a state is psi of x, y, z t equal to summation n 1 to infinity an phi n of x y z times e raised to the power minus I e n t over h bar. So we have considered that the probability density psi star times psi for a system in this state is represented by this wave function. Now, if we take the complex conjugate of this function, what will be our result? You can easily see. So therefore, the complex conjugate, you know, the complex conjugate is represented by psi star. So what will be this psi star? Psi star A will be equal to, you know, this is summation n. Now let us change the limit. Let us say the subscript I am just going to change for simplicity. Now let us we use the subscript m. So from m1 to infinity, and this will be am star phi m star of x y z times, and you know the complex conjugate of e raised to the power minus I e n t over h bar will be now, I will be now plus, so this will be I e m t over h bar. Here actually we have changed the subscript n to m. And so what will be the probability density? You can see easily here. So psi times psi star, this is probability density, and what will be this? You can see this will be actually equal to product of these two functions. You can see this is summation n 1 to infinity an phi n of x y z times e raised to the power minus I e n t over h bar, and times summation m 1 to infinity am star times phi m star of x y z times e raised to the power I e m t over h bar. And you can see that what will be this result. This is maybe written as summation an am star phi n x y z times phi m star of x y z and plus summation over m summation over n, and let us write this summation prime, and why I am writing this prime, I will just explain it. So this is am star phi n of x y z times phi m star of x y z times e raised to the power I e m minus e n times t over h bar. actually here the prime on the double summation indicates that the terms with m equal to n are excluded. We have taken only the terms for which m is equal to n. And you know that time enters in the probability function psi times psi star, and hence psi expressed by the Schrodinger equation is not a stationary state solution. So psi times psi star will be independent of time t only when we take the all values of the coefficients an equal to 0 for all values except for one value of en. So in such a case, the wave function will contain only a single term and will be represented by taking only the nth term. So why I have taken this primed symbol here, I am just again explaining it, as I have told you that the prime on the double summation indicates actually the terms with m equal to n are excluded. And as you know that the time enters in the probability function, and hence psi can be expressed by the Schrodinger equation, and then it will not a stationary state solution if time will be expressed. So in this condition we define or we find only a particular value for a particular value of n, the value of the wave function psi. So in this condition we define a particular value of wave function, let us say psi n of x, y, z, t, and that is written as phi n of x, y, z times e raised to the power minus I e n t over h bar. So this is the solution which is known as actually the stationary state solution, since in this condition the probability density will be what? In fact, in this condition the probability density will become independent of time. So this solution is known as a stationary state solution, as in this condition you will see that psi star times psi, this will be simply equal to phi n times phi m star, and this is independent of time. Independent of time. So this is the stationary state solution of Schrodinger equation.